This is the Bad Boy Joey Janela, and you're watching Wrestling Road Stories. And I'm here.
I appreciate you being on here, man. Thank you very much. I know you're a really busy guy. Especially with the past couple of days. I know you went to the Rumble in an alien mask. That was awesome. So, did anyone recognize you? Because from the video that I saw, no one really approached you.
No, I think someone recognized me, but that was after the fact. I've been getting sent random pictures of
okay.
And stuff.
Okay, good deal. So let's jump into this, man. Give us your worst road story.
The worst?
Yeah.
And I only have good times on the road. But I'm trying to think. Forgot this is a road story. I have tons of road stories, but man, shit. What is my worst road story? I have to think time to on the road or in planes or in trains or in
Doesn't
buses.
matter, man. You go into an event, shit goes wrong, or even if it's to you it's funny now, but back then you were pissed off about it. Any of those kind of situations. Traveling with buddies in the car, those are always good ones that we've gotten.
Yeah. Man, I've been on the road for so long. I'm surprised nothing's really coming to mind, but it is like I've had some bad travel days. I've had some really bad travel days. Down the last couple of years, actually, that I'm flying more frequently. That the one time, this is not really that bad of a story, but recently, I've had some bad travel going into Montreal and out of Montreal, which is never a bad thing because you're in Montreal. Supposed to go from Montreal to New Jersey. I think all the flights, Air Canada, they were on some kind of strike and everything was just canceled. So I waited online for maybe 2 hours. Eventually I realized that I'd be stuck there to the next. Oh, you know what? This is not a good story. This is the best story, okay? Fuck the Montreal stories, okay? This is recorded, right?
Yeah, dude, we're recording all of it.
My worst wrestling road story. I'm surprised this didn't come to mind first because this is it's one of the craziest wrestling road stories of all time. So in I think 2012, maybe 2012, maybe 2014. I don't remember the year. It's Cinco de Mayo weekend. I'll get the exact date for you at a later time. My brain doesn't really work like that. But we did this show in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and drove up there. I was just like starting to get bookings often in wrestling, and most of them were for little money, and I would have to drive long distances. Scranton's not that far; it's maybe a 3-hour drive for me, maybe 4 hours. So we get to the show. And it's a normal show. It's this guy's first time running the show, so you always have a debate on if you're getting paid or not because he might stiff you or run out of the building. Sometimes you're lucky enough to chase him and grab him, and then you pull him in the car and bring him to the ATM. But this time I did get paid. The problem was that now the ring broke during the show. That's really not where I'm going with this, but the ring broke. We worked around it. It was fine. So me and a few friends, I had a couple friends in Pennsylvania, went by the name of the Extra Guys. They didn't really, they're local guys. They didn't really go too far with the traveling and getting their names out there, the wrestling, but they were well known in the Pennsylvania regions of Scranton. Good guys, great guys. I think one of the guys, he's in prison right now for I think like his 18th DUI, which is not good. Don't drink and drive, guys. I think he's in prison for a few years, but yeah, they like to drink. So afterwards, we're in Scranton. It's a college town. I said, yeah, let's go around to the bars. He said, yeah, no problem. We go to the bars, and then we can go crash at the wrestling school we're trainers at. There's couches in there. I said, no problem. So when the bars close, we're pretty messed up, and we walk into the as we're walking to the school to go to sleep. We see like 80 cop cars drive by, fire trucks, ambulances. We're like, oh, something bad must have happened. We didn't think anything of it. So then we wake up probably 4 hours later. It's time for me to drive home. I don't know if that was good for me to think I could drive home at that time, but this is a young lad, Joey Janela. Uber wasn't around then; it's around now, so I don't ever do any of that buzz driving. So we get to the school. We sleep for a little bit. When I go to get my car is cautioned off by police tape. So then I walk up to the cop. I said, "That's my car. Can I get it? I got to go home. What happened here?" And he was like, "Oh, there was a murder." I said, "What?" I said, "That's my car." They said, "Yeah, you're not getting that car." I thought he was joking. I was like, "All right, just let me get my car." He goes, "No." He says, "Someone was murdered right there." And we look up, and there's all the evidence numbers, and there's the chalk outline of the body next to the where my vehicle's parked. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. I said, "Do you think I'll be able to get my car in a couple hours?" They said, "Yeah, probably." So we go back to the wrestling school, and we sleep like maybe the noon, wake up, go to get my car again. It's still a crime scene. I said, "Can I get my car?" It's Cinco de Mayo. I gotta go party with my friends, because back then it's like anytime there was a holiday, it was a good day to go to the bar and drink. So they said, "Nah, probably come back around 5. Your car will be out." I said, "Okay." So I go back around 5. So now the cops get suspicious. They're like, "Why do you keep on coming back here?" I said, "I had to get my car." I said, "The officer earlier said I can go get it." They're like, "You're not getting your car." They're like, "What's your name, by the way?" I was like, I gave my name. I said, "I just did a wrestling show here, whatever." They're like, "Well, someone was killed here, so give us a little bit." So then we go where we'll wait till the next day. So we're watching the news. We're at the promoter's house now, one of the promoters. We're watching the news, and it's like there's like a breaking news story that someone was shot in cold blood, and then you see where my car's parked on the news. And also it's like, but also Office season finale, not series finale this week. So all the Office cast members, they're doing some big convention in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So the two top stories is Office series finale, some big kind of Office con, and a cold-blooded murder. So then I go back the next day, and it's still caution off. So then I have to. So I keep on going back, and now I'm trying not to go to the cops. Then I go to eat crab legs. I'm not making it to the Cinco de Mayo. So then I go back, and it's still blocked off. I don't mess with those cops. So then I go to the police station, and I ask them. And then they're getting more suspicious. "Why do you need your?" I said, "I need to go home. I don't live here. I'm going back to New Jersey. I just wrestled." So then they're like, "Oh, you're not getting your car tonight." So this is day 2. My car's stuck in Scranton. Like, "Can you call someone to pick you up?" I said, "I live in New Jersey. I live 3.5 hours away. I'm not going to have someone pick me up." I said, "I'm going to wait for my car." So then the next day happens. I go back in the morning, and it's still cautioned off for some reason. And I was like, what is going on? So then I think I go to eat more crab legs, and then 5 o'clock the next day, I said, I just had it. I'm going to go see the new Iron Man movie for some reason. So I'm going to see the Iron Man movie, and we drive by, and it wasn't blocked off anymore. And I was able to get my car, and it was 2.5 days of torture.
Oh, my goodness.
And
they never
3.5 hours, yeah.
They never gave you a reason why you couldn't have your car. Just it's a crime scene.
Yeah, my car was a part of an active crime scene.
Golly, dude. Did you stay at the wrestling school the whole time? I guess for the extra days?
Yeah, I stayed at the wrestling school one night, and then I stayed at the guy who owned the wrestling school's house one night. I was going to stay at his house again, but then I said, drive me to Iron Man, and the car was just there. And I took it, and I jetted home, and they never found out that I murdered that college student.
Oh, man. But I didn't see that coming. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. It was some kind of party out there, and they were shooting. Actually, a part of the ring crew, they were leaving, and they saw it happen, apparently.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So I guess it happened close to where the event was. I mean, if that's where
it happened in the street where the event was on.
Whew.
And my car was parked right there on the side.
That's wild, brother.
But I did eat a lot of crab legs. Right, on Cinco de Mayo.
Hey, that's never a bad thing, dude.
No.
All right, awesome. So that was, for a bad story, it was crazy interested. Like, I was all in that story, man.
Yeah, it's better than talking about how I got straight to Montreal for 3 days, didn't pay for my hotel, and I had to stay at a hostel with hot college girls.
Oh, that doesn't sound, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like a good story, actually.
That's a different kind of torture. So, all right, so let's keep going here. If that was your bad story, I cannot wait to hear what your good story is. Or I'm sure you have several, so give us your best one.
I think in 2000, I don't remember the years, maybe 2015, we did a string of shows, but we've always done shows with like some wild names back in the day, and sometimes I would after shows I'd go get stoned with Val Venus sometimes, but other times Val Venus the way he turned out. But then there's the good guys that we did a loop of shows with for like 6 months straight, but it was all in Jersey, so we weren't really on the road. This is the early days of GCW. Those guys were X-Pac and Scott Hall. So, just like show with them. And the best story is one time I don't partake in marijuana anymore. I get too paranoid, and I think the FBI is coming to get me. Not really, but my heart races a little bit. We get a little wild. But one time, we would always smoke weed with Scott Hall and Waltman after the shows, and we'd go back to the promoter's house and we'd smoke weed for 8 hours straight and watch old X-Pac and Scott Hall matches while they gave us their commentary. But the best was that one time I was so stoned and I couldn't believe what was going on. And this is like that I went. X-Pac, for some reason, didn't feel like taking off his gear. So he's still in his gear. And Scott Hall looks like he's in his gear because he's in an NWO shirt. And I walk into Wawa with these guys. And X-Pac's in his full gear. He didn't change. He didn't do anything. We walked in to get hoagies and iced tea. And whatever. And holy shit, I'm with basically the clique in a Wawa, and X-Pac in his full gear. And at that time, every other time, especially during the day, those guys would be noticed wherever they were at because they're mega stars. But this time was like in the middle of the night, and we went to my friend's house. We got stoned. We walked across the street to the Wawa. X-Pac still in his gear, and Scott Hall's in his NWO shirt. And they were just walking around Wawa, and I couldn't believe I was witnessing this, and we had some good times with those guys. But it was always fun to hang out with the names of the business, and some of them are just those guys were the best dudes, but some of them are just fucking crazy. Like you don't want to end up in cars with like guys like the Honky Tonk Man or Greg the Hammer Valentine, or that going from the venue to the hotel even was just to hear these guys whine. But I've showed a lot of these guys, man, and I'm sure I have better road stories. I have tons of road stories. Like, this is between a bad and a good one, that when I was doing PWX in North Carolina, in your neck of the woods, I don't know if you went to those. You ever go to those shows?
I went to one of the last PWX shows, the 16-man. They had a 16-man elimination, and then they kind of folded not long after that.
This is the beginning of that company. They used to bring down a car. It would be like maybe sometime it would be usually me, Rhett Titus, Grizzly Redwood, and whoever the maybe the Briscoe brothers or whoever was the Northeast that was coming down with us. And we were always ribbing the fuck out of each other. And one time these guys, they tortured me. They knew I hated that Uncle Cracker song, that Follow Me song. That was the worst song. I turned this shit off, stopped playing it. So one time they decided to play it and sing along with it for 8 hours straight. And it was Red Titus singing. It was torture. And it truly might be the worst road story of all time. But it's good. They really, for 8 hours straight, all the way from Delaware all the way down to the whole Virginia, driving through Virginia to get to the Carolinas is just torture in itself, especially during the night. It's just nothing from miles and miles and hours. So for them to do this and for the 7 hours straight and keep along with the gag and just sing along, it was like it made me nauseous. I had to hang my head out the window. I wouldn't stop. It was truly torture, but
oh my goodness!
Thank God we don't rib people like that.
Oh, I hear you, man. No, that's
like water torture of the ears.
Understood. Yeah, I always hear, like, every once in a while I get to hear like a random story. Like the whole reason why this podcast started was I hear every once in a while I hear a wrestling story, and they're great. Like just all the different random stuff, like the pranks everyone pulls on each other.
I have so many stories.
Yeah. Dude, we would always be down to have you on to just tell some random stories.
Yeah, I had to think. Sure. I forgot this was a road story podcast that was coming on, and next time we'll have but the gun story, the shooting story is absolutely the craziest of all time. But I have tons into the same vicinity, close to that.
No, dude. I'm for it. We can do shorts, man. We can jump on, do a quick one, throw it up, and then we'll just like make a library of them, dude. And you can have a catalog for yourself to just relive, or like we could, tell everybody. As long as you're good with it, like that's the big thing. We'll cut anything out that you need to cut out if you need,
no problem. No problem.
All right. So before I hand you over to Angel, I did have one question. Do you have like a specific group of guys that you ride with all the time, like especially now? Because I mean, like GCW, you guys are going everywhere, and I mean, I'm a Jersey guy as well, born and raised in New Jersey. So, like when I found out you were from Jersey, I was like, dude, automatically one of my guys. But on top of that, just being as great as you are, so like from that area, there's a lot of good dudes. You guys do a lot of traveling together, like any specific group?
Yeah, we have to travel. Sometimes it's different groups, but usually I'm in a hotel room with Jimmy Lloyd, or traveling with Jimmy Lloyd and whoever else is in the car.
I guess.
Sometimes we fly to the next place. Sometimes some of us volunteer to get in the car and drive because they don't want to go to the airport. Sometimes, but I think I've driven with Jimmy over the past 4 years a lot more than anyone else.
Gotcha.
With a great mix of people, actually. there's rarely anyone that you don't want to drive with.
Understood. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. If you're gonna be stuck
Maybe
in
Tony Deppen because he never shuts the fuck up. I'm just kidding. I love Tony.
I'm with you. All right, good deal. So I'm gonna tag out. I'm gonna pass you over to Angel. She's got a couple questions for you, and we'll be on our way.
Oh yeah.
First question is, do you have a go-to place to get food when you're on the road?
Like a fast food spot?
Yeah, it could be fast food, could be a restaurant. Do you seek out like a certain type of food when you travel, or
Yeah.
is there like a chain or something that you like?
I mean, if you have to stop at a chain, stop at a chain. Like as far as chains, if you're down south, I love Bojangles. If you're on the West Coast, I still love In-N-Out. Despite it being a bit overrated, I still love it. You go to Texas, you get a Whataburger. But I always try after a show to get something good and go somewhere that's open. That's like I'll go find the highest reviewed spot that's open after the show, and I'll try to convince people to come. If we're not just going out to get shit faced somewhere, but also there's times that I've traveled to like Florida or Atlanta in a car, and I gotta make the stop at Jimmy's Seafood, or if you're in Boston, you gotta go to Calhoun's. It's all those hot spots. I don't even tell them I'm there. These people, they love wrestling, but I just go for the seafood, for the stuffed lobster at Jimmy's Seafood is amazing. That's why they sent me Christmas gifts this year, so I'm grateful to them. But yeah, there's places I like. One time, me and Jimmy Lloyd, we did a show to IW Mid-South in like 2016, and on the way back, we drove through Cincinnati, and we found a sushi restaurant that was open 24/7. Just stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
there's always
awesome.
the hot spots in every city. If there's the tourist attraction spots that are usually pretty good, and then there's a lot of hidden gems that you'll find. And just going on Google, typing your location, vicinity, look at how many people review these places, how many stars, and then go to a list. If I do that on Google and then go to a list, top restaurants in the city, and that restaurant's on the list, I said we're going there.
That is an excellent strategy.
That's why I have no money.
I usually when I travel, if I fly, I usually don't rent a car. It's Uber, right? So whenever Uber driver picks me up, I'm like, all right, where's the best place to eat? Like, where's the local homegrown, hole in the wall.
That's it. You'll find that. You'll find a lot of good places. The dudes say they're good bars.
Yeah, like the more hole in the wall, the better. Like bonus points if the bathroom is filled with cleaning supplies because it doubles as a storage closet. Like that is where you will get some like excellent food.
Yeah, we were just in Columbus, and we found this little hole in the wall restaurant that serves till 2 a.m. and it was awesome. It was awesome.
Second question is a two-part question. Who is your first favorite wrestler, and who is your favorite wrestler now?
First favorite wrestler, Hulk Hogan, for sure. I was born in 1989, so I was on the tail end of that. So still, when you got into wrestling, Hulk Hogan was still the guy on top there. And colorful, attracted me as a kid. I had his action figures. I had his giant action figure that you pulled a string on his back, and I had his Hasbros. So Hulk Hogan, plus my grandma was into Hogan, so that was big. Into the Hollywood NWO era of Hogan, he's still, he was a heel, but still everyone loved the NWO of Hogan. So probably Hogan, and then it went to Steve Austin. For sure, and that was like my real most favorite wrestler of all time. And you said now, or what?
Yeah. Oh, like overall, like if they're still your favorite wrestler, then that's fine. But like usually
of all time, probably
Terry Funk.
Yeah, probably Terry Funk. But you can switch them around on that list, you know.
Mhm.
There's a lot of I've watched everyone, so but Terry Funk probably definitively number one. Luckily, I own his last bandana he ever wore, so
Really?
that's an item I'm never getting rid of. Yeah,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hang on to that. Like,
no matter how homeless I am in the future, I'll
always have
sell
your-
my body for sex, 100% before I sell that bandana. I might do that next year anyway. Fuck it.
The next question is, who is your favorite person to wrestle?
Oh man, there's a bunch. It's hard to say.
Feel free to drop multiples, man. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Leo Rush, I probably wrestle the most out of anyone. There's no way we'll ever have a bad match. My matches with Kenny, I loved. Omega, great matches. You know, guys like Moxley were easy. Speedball Mike Bailey is my new favorite to wrestle. So yeah, I like to wrestle everyone, but Speedball probably right now. But Leo Rush probably throughout my history and his history, and he might say the same about me. I don't know. You have to get him on and ask him.
Yeah, all of those are great. I love all of those guys. Oh, fantastic. Our next question is, do you have a Ricky Morton story?
Oh yeah. So I love Ricky. He's like an uncle to me. But we had this match spring break, you know, during COVID. It's my big show, but it is a low point spring break because it's 2020. It's the fall of 2020. You know, people are still. We can somehow run a low capacity indoor show in Indianapolis, which was still a decent amount. They're spaced out. It was very weird. We had a lot of fun. We got a lot of COVID, but we had a lot of fun. But I got to wrestle Ricky in that, and you know, we just had such a great match, and he wanted to do it so bad, and we went into it with this. We got this crazy match, and we did. But at one time that in that match, I told him to, like old school NWA, to pile driver me through that timekeeper's table on the side of the ring. And it was like a plastic table. We knew it was gonna break, but somehow it did break in half. But he'll tell you the same story. As we broke through it, I'm laying there and I smell something horrendous, like someone shit themselves. And I don't know if he did, but you can see it in the match. You can see him say it. You can see him lip syncing. He goes, "It was the worst smelling fart of all time." He goes, "I fart on your head, motherfucker." And he starts laughing. As soon as we bump to the table, you can see him mouth it. And you can hear him say it too faintly. "I fart on your head, motherfucker." He told that story to someone last month or so. I was like, yes, that did happen. If I could find a clip, I'll show you guys and you get it better. But yeah, those guys played some fucked up ribs back in the day, him and Robert. But the least of my worries is he just maybe farted or shit on my head. But he was he was pretty packed up in those tights. Thank God, no trunks, so we don't know. But I didn't smell anything the rest of the match. It was just the most putrid situation after he went through that table. I was just happy I didn't die getting power driven by this man at his age. And we survived, but the worst is, okay, we survived. Okay, what the fuck is that smell? He was like, "I farted, motherfucker." So I fart on your head, or "I farted, motherfucker," something like that. That's Ricky Morton.
That one tops the charts of the stories we've heard about people like, you know, other wrestlers and Ricky. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Yeah. He'll tell you the same story.
Yeah, we love Ricky too, man.
He told me this. He was telling this story to someone a couple of months ago when I was there. He was like, "I remember this." I'm like, "Yeah, I certainly do remember. That was terrible." And you could see it. You could hear him faintly say it on the, "I fart on your head, motherfucker." And he starts laughing. That's Ricky.
In a similar vein, do you have an interesting George South story?
None really, to be honest. I just came to New George in the last year or so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, he's just a great guy. He's a very religious man. Loves God.
Yes.
Very positive. You go on his Facebook and you get a story out of that, out of his posts. But now every Sunday or every other Sunday, he wishes me a blessed day. And when I'm on the road, I'd say I'm on the road right now or something. In the status, he's like, "May God bless you on your travels" or something. But he did ask me for my sunglasses after he wrestled last time, and I said, "I guess, yeah, I had to take them." So they're for his museum in his house. So he just collects stuff as guys, But
Yeah, I've seen pictures of his museum, man. It's dope, and that's cool. Like you're part of that now.
yeah, I had no problem. I didn't say, no, these are my only pair of sunglasses that I have right now. No, it was like, all right, here you go, George.
So was your first time rolling around with George back when you fought him at AML?
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then on your first meeting, you beat him with the bat? That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it had to be.
That's wild.
And then he beat me the second time with a bat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, WrestleCade. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And I think they're bringing him to. Oh no, he went to LA a couple months ago with GCW, but we got to bring him to LA, which was cool. He had to be back before church. He said,
Of course.
Brett booked him, and he was like, "What day is that?" It's like, it's a Saturday. He's like, "Sorry, I can't do it. I never missed church," and whatever, how long he's been born again Christian or whatnot, 20 years. I don't know I don't know how long, but Brett's like, "Don't worry, George, I got you. I'll book you a red eye. You'll make it back before church." So he flew in, did the show. Before the show was over, jumped in an Uber to the airport, and was back before church.
Man has his priorities, that's for sure.
It couldn't be me.
Yeah. Our final question is, if you could only watch one wrestling match for the rest of your life, what match would that be?
It's the hardest question in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think. It's a hard one. You guys really put me in a spot right here. Maybe Sasuke versus Onita, an exploding ring match. Probably that. That's one I watched multiple times. As a child. I haven't watched it a couple of years now, but I used to watch all the time in my teen years. But there's plenty. That's probably one. Who doesn't like watching guys explode?
Yeah, I was going to say
the dramatics of a war movie. Sasuke showing up in a helicopter. Just just the whole, from the video package to the match to the promos and everything. That's it. It has all the dramatics of professional wrestling.
That is all the questions that we have for you. What we like to do now is give you an opportunity to promote anything that you have upcoming and let everyone know where they can find you on social media if they don't already know.
You guys can catch me at Spring Break. Plenty of other shows as well. WrestleMania weekend. I don't know if those shows are announced yet by the time this comes out, but I'll probably be at some other shows. I'll probably be at some other gimmicks. I'll probably be at a lot of bars. But Spring Break, first night sold out. Second night is potentially sold out by the time this airs. So you can catch us on Triller TV. I think it's $7.99 a month. Watch us there. Watch the whole collective. All the GCW shows. Bloodsport, For the Culture. Effie's Big Gay Brunch is also sold out. TJPW is that weekend, and DDT. It's going to be a great time at the collective up in good old, City of Love, Philadelphia. Janela Baby on Twitter. I'm shadow banned right now, probably because I watch too much porn on there. I don't know. You can't even tag me in anything anymore. You have to look up my name like and press the thing, and then my name will pop up. But Janela Baby on Twitter, the Bad Boy Joey Janela on Instagram. I'm not shadow banned there yet. TikTok I don't really use. You can find me on Tinder, Bumble, all those dating sites.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Yes.
Appreciate you so much, man, and we'll be in touch.
I appreciate you.
All right,
Thank you.
brother. Yep.
Thanks, Joey.
Bye.